comedians, and welcome back to unMadeGaming. We are here for game number 3 of our Extra Life 12-hour charity stream. We're back with some more Dungeons & Dragons. It is called the Tea Time Travesty, and it should be a good time. I will remind you guys, this is a charity stream. We are 2/3 of the way to our goal for this month, so let's see if we can raise that extra $100 in the next 6 hours, preferably in the next 3. As a reminder, you guys can check that donation section down below for all the fun things you can donate for, nat 1s, nat 20s, extra items, healing, all kinds of good stuff. And we are, of course, sponsored by our lovely friends over at Easy Roller Dice. We are going to be doing a giveaway, several giveaways throughout the course of the year for our charity once we hit certain goals. We are also sponsored by Mage Hand Press, who everyone who donates any amount at all is going to be given free supplements by them, and anyone who donates $5 or more is going to get 20% off of their brand new D&D space game called Dark Matter. And if you guys want to support the channel, please check out our Patreon for all kinds of sweet news, updates, and hot exclusives. That being said, we'll toss things over to the players here, and Bell, take us away to the Tea Time Travesty.
Hi, I'm Belle, or Bell, either's fine, and I will be the DM for Tea Time Travesty. It's a D&D 5e short little romp through some Fae shenanigans, and I am joined by these lovely people. If they would like to introduce themselves, I guess we'll start with Honey and Dice.
Of course you would. Yes, hello everybody, I'm Honey and Dice. I will be playing Bisquilia Biscuit Honeysuckle. She is going to be your halfling fighter today. How much do you want me to say? What we're playing? That's good.
No, that's fine. That's great. And you said she?
Yes, she
Okay.
is a Lightfoot halfling fighter.
Awesome. And brisket? Is that what you said?
Biscuit.
Biscuit. Very different. Thank you. What about Other Doc?
Greetings. I am Jim, or Other Doc, or Doc, and I'm very pleased to be here. I am today playing a character named Baker. He is a human rogue who mostly does second story work. He basically is a burglar, and is going to be incredibly surprised when this whole thing starts.
I mean, the name fits. So far, we have 2 on-brand names. Thank you. What about Laura Bones? Oh, we can't hear you. Uh-oh. Oh no. All right. Sorry. Some technical difficulties as we go into this apparently Fae cursed game. I did make tea for it, so there's that.
I'm with you in spirit. I've got my teapot and my tea. So
That is really cute.
I just have this strange brown liquid. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems to be keeping me awake, so we'll do that.
it's special tea.
It's tea and spirit.
Yes. Spirit tea.
Okay, so I'm gonna intro the game while Laura works on mic stuff. So the premise will say, the one that I introduced to the players, is "Welcome, assistant chefs." A voice booms out as you awaken in a lavish reception hall, settled comfortably on a plush couch. Or it might be a reception hall. There's no doors, just couches in light pastel and a low white coffee table with nothing on it but some stray glitter. Nearby, others blink awake groggily as the voice continues. "My apologies about gathering you so rudely and without warning, but I'm in quite the spot of trouble. You see, I'm having tea soon. Terribly, extremely important tea with another Fey Lord. Quite soon, in fact, and I had to fire all my kitchen staff for failing to produce results before." That sounds ominous. Besides having come from a disembodied voice, they mentioned a Fey Lord. Maybe many Fey Lords? It's unclear. You might worry for the staff and what it means to be fired by a Fey, but there's more the voice is saying. "Which is where you come in. I've gathered a chef for the evening, but she's going to need a little help in the kitchen. Once you've completed your tasks, you'll be returned whence you came. Now, hop to it. Tea waits for no one." At this command, a pair of double doors appear. They are solid metal with round portholes in each one and a light shining from underneath. Within, you can hear the clatter of cutlery and dishes. There's only one way to go from here, but what can you really expect in a Fey's kitchen? So, you've been kidnapped by a Fey, or perhaps you haven't been kidnapped. Perhaps you owe this Fey a favor for past services rendered. Perhaps you committed some slight, or perhaps you're just looking for a way into the Fey court. Whatever it is that's brought you into this mess, you aren't getting out of it without heading into that kitchen. So, just gonna check in. How are you doing, Laura? Oh, hooray!
Hi.
I heard that.
I'm
Hi.
just trying to swap microphones. For some reason, it's not picking up my actual microphone, so I'm having to use just the laptop one. So
Oh, well, we can hear you. Would you like
that's
to
fine.
introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, sorry. I'm Laura Bones, and today I'll be playing Shisara, who's a Yuan-Ti sorceress, who is very annoyed to find herself here, in all fairness.
I feel that's a very fair reaction. Could you real quick repeat the name for me?
Shisara.
Shisara?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I get it right. So the three of you, Biscuit, Baker, and Shisara, are in this parlor. You're seated on couches, and there's a pair of double doors the way forward into what you can presume is the kitchen. What would you like to do?
Well, to start with, Biscuit is on the smaller side of a halfling, so her legs are probably not even, her feet aren't even on the ground. She's sitting on the sofa. She's confused. She's like a cocoa brown halfling. She's got two little cocoa puffs on the top of her head, and she's like an adorable little thing, but she's got these massively wicked, sharp-looking swords strapped to her back and hand axes at her waist, and she's just kind of looking back and forth and confused, and she's just swinging her feet. And she's like, "So, they told me this is where you go for the... Is this where the speed dating is happening? Or, because I don't think this is... Last time it was in a pub."
Speed dating.
"Yes."
Oh God.
I hope
I
not.
hope am I dreaming? I hope I'm dreaming.
"No, they want us to make tea. Last time I made tea, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. People were... It just came back up the wrong way. So, are we supposed to go through the doors, or do we sit here and wait?"
You've done this before?
I don't... Well, last time I did it, you could hear the person. You could see the person you could, but today, it just looks like we're on our own. You go in, you sit down at the table, you tell something about yourself, they tell you what they're doing, it doesn't match up, you go to the next table. That's how it works.
I have to talk to people.
That sounds atrocious.
Yeah, but it kills the time. Also, you can get some really good contracts because you hear about people's exes and then they hire... Anyways, should we go through the doors?
You might as well.
And she kind of hops off the couch and starts trundling towards the door.
I've got to get back and pay off the dime. This is no good at all. All right, fine.
All right. Are the three of you heading for the doors? Fantastic. Who would be opening the doors?
And Bisquela is just gonna burst through the doors, just pushing them open in front of her.
Fantastic. Could I get a dexterity saving throw from you?
Yes. Okay, let me open up 20. Got some typing here. So that would be a 22. It was a natural 20.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry, my screen hadn't updated. Fantastic. So as you open these doors, I'm going to tell you what you see and then what you dodged. So pop you over. So as you're entering, you see a very eclectic sort of kitchen. It's a mishmash of styles. Some you won't even recognize. Items you won't even recognize. There's garish colors, very simple wallpaper. The tile is like a just basically 80s sort of design. There's a very colorful bird hanging with some very drab vegetables from from like a hook. And as you enter, this glob of multicolored goopy liquid flies in your direction. You, however, being very short and apparently prepared for anything in this speed dating challenge that you're on, managed to completely duck. It flings into the other room, and you hear a very startled, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," coming from the kitchen. And this would be your chef. Let me pop her up. Okay. So your chef, who is a very extravagantly dressed individual, not really dressed for the kitchen, comes into view. She looks a bit like somebody took a person and mashed her with a ball-jointed doll. She's as eclectically dressed as the rest of the kitchen, but you can see where the ball joints come in handy because she's holding a whisk, like a very sturdy whisk, and her whole arm is rotating with the whisk, and it's actually flinging this Technicolor dough like across the kitchen. What's funny is it doesn't seem to be getting smaller in the bowl, and this almost just seems like a way that she's trying to keep it under control. She looks very harried, very distressed, and she just looks at you and she goes, "Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's very hectic in here. Hi, are you the new are you my new assistants?"
Assistant.
Yeah.
There was like a voice that said something along those lines. I don't know if that's really what's happening. I think there must be some kind of mistake.
I mean, probably there was probably a mistake. The Fey Lord I work for. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She tends to just kind of take people and throw them into jobs and then like expect them. I'm so sorry. The best way to get out of this is to just do a couple things for me. Again, I'm really sorry, but this is very important.
Did you say Fey Lord?
Yeah.
We're screwed.
Yeah. And she just takes people.
Yeah, sometimes. Have you ever crossed a Fae, or I mean, sometimes you can do it on accident.
I'm not stupid enough to cross a Fae.
Oh, well, then she was probably just really desperate. I'm really sorry. Yeah, she has like tea coming up, and there's going to be other Fey Lords there, and she fired. Well, she didn't fire their last staff. She kind of shuffled them into another section. I don't know where they went. I'm not really a chef. This is very distressing. But hi, this is the kitchen. She's still whisking as this is going on, and it's kind of, you can avoid it pretty easily, but it's kind of flinging a little bit everywhere as she's talking to you.
You know, since the moment she's come through the door, Isabella just kind of like ducked down really fast and then drew both swords from her back, and she's been in this ready kind of Street Fighter stance the whole time. But now she's just kept take her eyes off of that whisk, and she's just kind of like, okay, I do not believe that this is I don't think this is speed dating. I don't think it's the speed dating. I think this is some kind of. Okay, what is your name? Whiskey, Bindi, Dog, Lacey. What is your name?
Oh, hi. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That was really rude of me. I'm sorry. My name is BB. Just BB is fine. Sometimes, I mean, right now, I guess it's chef. Hasn't been chef for very long, but BB is fine. What's your name?
Bisqualia, but they all call me Biscuits. Are you okay? Do you need us to call someone? I mean, what are you making? What is it that you're making there?
Oh, this is a dough. It should be fine. As long as I keep whisking, it'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Nothing bad will happen if I just keep whisking until it's done. Right. And she's still whisking.
So, what help? You said help. You said you needed help, and you obviously do need help. But what type of help do we need to do? So, like, I'm late. I thought I was going to speed dating, but I'm not going to speed dating because unless you're, I don't. You told me your name and your occupation, but I think there's a difference. The height difference might. Anyways, what can we help you with?
Oh, you're so sweet. So there's a few things I need to get done, but I'm whisking and it's whiskey business. And she like laughs at her bad pun.
Whiskey. I get what you did. How are you not in pain?
Oh, I mean, that's just kind of how my arm works. Cause it's, and like she's holding a bowl and a whisk and she's like with the arm that's holding the bowl, trying to also point at her jointed elbow. It's not really working. But she goes, okay, I just need a couple things. You all look very, very adventurous and capable. I'm sure that's probably why she got you. So there's just a couple things I need out of the garden, but the dandelions got out, and so it's a little dangerous, and I have to be whisking, obviously, because it'll go bad if I don't whisk. So yeah, so if you could just go into the garden and get the dandelions for the tea and some of the fruit from the swamp tree, that's like all I need.
I have a
Why
question.
are flowers dangerous?
That was it. Yeah.
Oh, well, because they're not just flowers, they're lions.
Of course they are.
Dandelions. It's like you don't want to go in the snapdragon patch, everyone knows that. So you don't want to the dandelions got out and we need them for the tea. So it's,
Yeah, I got it too. Your flowers eat people and your arm is permanently disjointed and just whatever, she says. We can go and get your lion cat flowers. And what else did you need?
there's a certain kind of fruit. Okay, so this is important because the swamp tree has two different fruits. But you have to go to the swamp tree, which is at the end of the garden, and get the striped fruits, not the polka dotted ones, the striped ones.
Okay, so striped fruit and man-eating flowers.
Oh, well, I don't know if they eat men. They eat small fae, so maybe. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay, well,
Okay.
and she just kind of looks up at the other two.
I've been backing away, looking for an exit this whole time.
There's the doors for the parlor you just came out in, and then there is one other wooden door on the other edge of the kitchen.
Okay. I think you probably look around and you see that I've done this before I can get that far. So I'm just sort of looking around. I'm just trying to very clearly trying to slowly work my way back to make a break for it. I haven't like stealthed or anything. I'm just sort of slowly backing away.
Oh, where? That's not the way to the garden. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Are you a little?
You see, I've got this allergy, you'd see, to being eaten alive, and I think
Oh, they won't eat you alive. You'll probably be dead before they. I mean, they're plants. They just eat like organic matter.
yeah, that's a comfort.
Biscuit's just like, you see, you'll be dead. You won't feel it. We'll be fine. So come on,
Yeah,
let's go.
sounds fabulous.
Let's just go.
I could give you. I mean, I don't have a whole lot here, but I have a couple things that might help. I don't know. Here, if you come over here and like she like walks backwards to one of these cabinets, and she like leans her elbow to point at like a horizontal kind of shallow drawer. She's like, if you like look in here, there's a couple things that might help. I'm sorry.
Now, when you say help, do you mean help us in the garden, or do you mean help us closer to death so we don't feel anything? What does help?
Well, I mean, I won't get my stuff or the stuff for the kitchen if you're dead. So like I mean, I like you. You all seem, nice-ish, and the ish comes when she sort of looks at our sorcerer. Look, nice-ish. So I'd like you alive and finishing your the task.
So is anyone else going to go open the drawer? Because if not, Biscuits is just.
Well, I went over. I've gone over to the drawer and I'm quietly looking through it.
Okay, when you open the drawer, it is full of lots of junk. It's like pens, broken pencils, rubber bands, keys to probably nothing. But there is also a satin bag and a severed zombie hand in there.
I'm just sort of quietly open the drawer next to it, and I'm looking for silverware, to be perfectly frank.
Okay, if you wanna do a drawer that she hasn't told you to look in, I'm gonna say stealth.
Okay. Wait, clicking on the wrong sheet. There we go. All right. Stealth.
It's like the zombie hand still twitching.
It is not.
Just checking.
There we go.
Okay, as the others focus on the drawer that was requested you look in, you kind of sneak to the side and open another drawer, sift through it a little bit. It's mostly kitchen utensils. There are some like silver ones in there, like a silver ladle or a spatula. With that stealth, you could grab. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll have that. This just quietly goes into my sack.
Fantastic. But for the question before, the zombie hand is not twitching. It's just a greenish zombified hand.
All right, so the hand.
Sarah will probably take the hand if nobody else has and like inspect it.
And then in the drawer there is also a satin bag, like a small one, like when you would keep dice in.
Oh.
When you take out the hand, BB looks over at you and goes, "Oh, that's so useful. Okay, so like, sorry. when you snap a finger off, if you snap a finger out, don't do it now. When you snap a finger off, you can tell it to be something you can hold in one hand. Now, it can't. It's going to turn into that. If it's like a magic thing, it can't be magical. It doesn't, like, it can look like it, but it won't. Like if you're like magic dagger, it's going to look like a dagger. I'm sorry, but it won't be magical. But if you snap the finger off and you hold the finger in one hand, it'll turn into anything you can hold in one hand. Or just look like it, but
Quite useful.
be the item. So, and then in there's a bag and there's some stickers in there. They're not, I don't know if they'll be really important. They're kind of fun. Mostly like a party gag, but like if you take the sticker out, if anyone's grabbing the bag.
If no one has it, Biscuit will go and get it. She's interested. The moment she said stickers.
Fantastic. Okay, so in your hand you have a bag of stickers. Every sticker is like a lip sticker. It's just like, okay, so those are basically when you stick them on something, it's the spell magic mouth. So you stick it on something and it says stuff. So for magic mouth, an object that isn't carried or worn delivers a message. You speak to it under circumstances you describe. The message must be 25 words or less and take no longer than 10 minutes to deliver. And the circumstances that trigger the delivery must be visual or audible and occur within 30 feet of the object. So they're lip stickers you put on something and then you set a message and some kind of trigger, and you can and it will basically just play the message when you stick it on things. You will have 7 stickers.
So Biscuit takes a sticker, goes over next to the doors, and it just came through, and puts the sticker on the door. And the message that she gives it is, her arms are supposed to move that way. And then it to be triggered if the door's open. Just a cautionary sticker.
What a helpful sticker. Her arms are supposed to move. I'm writing it down. All right, on the kitchen door. Okay. So she then she just accepts this. She just lets you place a sticker on the kitchen. And then she goes, I mean, tea is today, so if you can go into the garden and just get me, a dandelion tail, and so like,
Yes.
looking at you, just 2.
You'll find your finely dressed lions and your stripy fruit.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry this happened. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry.
Someone will be.
Biscuit is like, don't apologize for having good employment. Never apologize. And she just kind of adjusts her hold on her swords and starts striding towards that other door. She doesn't know what's through it, but she's assuming that's the way to the garden.
Yeah, that would be the way to the garden.
She does stop and then take a step back and says, if someone else wants to go first this time, I will not complain.
So I hesitate for like a few seconds, and there's like this pause, and then I'm like, you want me to check the door out? It's probably fine. I mean, they were supposed to go through and all, but yeah, fine. Yeah, all right, sure, why not? Who wants to live forever? So I go up to it, and I don't think it's going to be trapped or anything like that, because she just told us to go through the thing. It wouldn't make sense, but I'm still going to very cautiously, like, if there's a keyhole or anything, look through it, because this Fey realm, I don't know what the heck to expect around here. So
okay, so you just want to look through the keyhole,
yeah.
See if you see something on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a perception check.
I will check my perception, and it is Nope, nope, nothing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a keyhole. It's kind of hard to see through. Looks like it might be bright outside, like the sun is shining, something like that. But yeah, you don't see very much through the keyhole.
And just very cautiously, I've got put some like gloved hands and and this is someone who probably doesn't normally. I didn't describe my character. He's like 6'3". He's very well muscled, and he's got tan skin and sort of blondish hair and a sort of a goatee. He is not the sort of person that would ordinarily look as terrified as he has looked in the last 5 minutes. You would think, sort of wearing dark clothing to conceal himself. And he reaches down and quietly is going to turn the knob and slowly open the door and peep out.
So when you do this, you are greeted with bright sunshine, a lovely clear day, and a well cared for and traveled garden. It has nice walls for each plot, a nice stone, like cobblestone walkway that goes between every sectioned off piece. It is interesting though, some of the sections, they seem to be kind of mashed together. And one you'll see vines mixed with sunflowers that have like see-through crystalline petals. In others you'll see squash as well as low bushes. And the walls that section them off are oftentimes very different. Some of them just have low walls that make it very easy to see what you're looking at. Others have like little picket fences that are more decorative than anything else. Others actually have like iron bar cages that like go over the top, almost like a garden menagerie, as the sign says when you first exit the kitchen. It's a very eclectic. It's a little less eclectic than the kitchen you just left, which was a mishmash of styles. This is still, it looks like greenery and plants, but the way of containing them is often very different. And so you'll see many different paths, not a lot of signage, unfortunately. You do see, actually, give me a perception check. Whoever would like to, it's fine. All of you may if you'd like.
May I use my nat 1 on this?
Yes, you may.
I will use my nat 1 on this.
Okay. I'm writing that down. Okay.
16.
16 and 13. Okay, so Biscuits, in the distance, you and Shisara can both see what looks like a very large tree. It is not the right color for a tree. It's actually, from what you can see at the top of it over the different enclosures and plots, it looks almost black and white, but it is a very large tree, often like the opposite corner of the garden. For our one who failed his perception check,
The wrong direction.
you
Just
are
walking out
still
like this.
you are looking in the wrong direction. You are still looking at the kitchen, just a little paranoid and worried. And you just start picking a path and going down.
You,
Just without even looking in the right way, just sort of immediately back away from the kitchen, turn around, and immediately just start walking down a path, assuming it's the right one.
This way, friends. I mean, it's your companions can notice this. They didn't fail their perception checks, so.
Biscuit lets him walk for like 10 seconds, just watching for a moment.
Should we just let him get eaten?
I think that might not. Well, I don't want him to die, but do you think if he keeps walking, he'll draw out the dandelions or whatever else, and then we can know where those are? No, we probably should hurt them. Man, person, that's I think we need to go this way towards the black and white tree.
It's going to just spin around and like, oh yeah, right, yeah. This was
This
reconnaissance, sort of. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Yeah.
All right. So you see the tree in the distance and you have to navigate your way towards it. As you get closer to the tree, it does sort of dip below all the different enclosures, so you can't quite see it as well. I would like a survival check or a nature check to keep you all going in the right direction. This can be done at advantage since you're all working together, but I would like one person to roll.
anyone good with? Is it nature or survival?
Yeah.
I can do it if no one else wants to.
I am neither wise nor intelligent, especially.
Okay. And about how? Just a question for the DM. Like, how tall are the plants in general? What they're passing by?
Many are very, very tall. I mean, tall. A lot of them are taller than you. You're seeing like vines and sunflowers, just large trellises. There are shorter plots that are just flowers. In fact, one of the ones that is caged is a short flower bed, and you do see a plaque that reads snapdragons, something that that BB told you about as you exited.
There you go. You said roll survival or nature, right?
Right, and you can do it at advantage since you're all trying to get the same place.
Did that? All right.
Since you're doing it at advantage, you can roll again.
My left is going to be worse. Same thing. Doesn't matter. So she's really occasionally she's walking and then jumping to see if she can see something, and then walking on and jumping. And she doesn't want to look like she doesn't know where she's going, so she just starts turning in a direction where the stuff is a little lower, then jumps again to try to see. Like a bunny rabbit in front of them as they're going.
That is amazing, an amazing visual, and I love it. I mean, you're all trying to keep an eye out for the dandelions. And also the scenery is very distracting. It's not just crystalline sunflowers and dangerous little snapdragons. There's, flowers that change color, trees that shift in size. There's sometimes very confusing plots where you don't see a whole lot in it, but it's caged, so something must be wrong. And at one point you do pass by the a broken caged enclosure that the dandelions must have come from, and it looks like a enclosure you might see for lions in a zoo. It has short grass, trees, a tiny little fake pond, just somewhere that large cats might enjoy hanging out, but it is broken and they are out. So as you are going along, how are you, knowing that you're in a garden with some dangerous flora, how are you progressing?
Shisara is like carefully, sickly. Like
Okay.
her little slitted eyes are looking everywhere.
All right. So you're keeping an eye out. Are you trying to be quiet or stealthy?
I'm not trying to make excessive amounts of noise, but I'm not stealthing either.
Okay. Is anyone else doing any sort of?
Well,
Yes. Sorry.
I was gonna say, Biscuit isn't quiet because she's tiny, but she's got like chainmail armor. It kind of gives you a disadvantage, so she's not quiet at all.
All right, fantastic.
I am actually going to try to be quiet, and I just sort of do this. I do this sort of gesture as we're moving along that is apparently supposed to be some kind of signaling, which actually, if you're a mercenary, you might be familiar with it, which is the sort of give the I'm going to go behind something thing and come alongside type gesture. And so I'm going to try to conceal myself as we go stealthily and sort of through the brush.
Okay. Are you, so you're like separating from the group a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Can I get?
That sounds so ominous.
I love to say things like what they mean. Like it's fine and fantastic. So especially as a DM. So all right. Who is actively looking out for the lions can give me a perception check. Whoever is not, for whatever reason, just give me your passive perception.
Mm. So Biscuit has a passive perception of 15.
15. Fantastic. That was not the DM version. That was excited.
But her looking for the dandelions is her kind of cupping her hands around her mouth and going, "Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty."
I love this so much.
So
Good. Okay. So they probably know where you are. What's Baker, about how far away from them the rest of the group are you? Are you like just nearby, or?
No, I'm not very far. I just go far enough to get into sort of shaded areas to try to be able to conceal myself while as I'm walking, so that hopefully I can attempt to take something by surprise if it comes for us.
Fantastic. So if you're stealthing, could I get a stealth roll, please?
Certainly.
Thank you. Is that a nat 1?
That is a nat 1.
Is that why it's red?
That is why it's red. Yeah.
Did you want to take that nat 1? I know you have a pool of dice.
Am I permitted to use that after I roll?
I'm fine with it.
I'm not familiar with what I have in the pool, but I'll use it. Sure, let's use that.
You would have had a nat 1 and a nat 20, I believe.
Okay, I will use the nat 20 now if I'm.
All right, fantastic. You disappear from the game.
Excellent.
No. All right, so you are stealth, and then but a little bit away from the group, and then we have the main group calling, "Here, kitty," and it looks like for perception, we have a 7 and a 15. So, Shisara, this is a very distracting place, especially for someone with your arcane leanings. I mean, as horrible as it is that you were dragged here, as much as you do not appreciate this, there's fey magic everywhere. There's strange plants you've never heard of. It's so distracting, and you're trying to find this tree. You just do not hear much over the calling of "Here, kitty, kitty." Now, there's just a lot going on. However, Biscuits, because you're actually actively calling for the cats, you, and with your armor and your weapons, it seems like you're a pretty seasoned fighter. You recognize that sort of eerie calm that comes right before a predator approaches, and you are able to see from one of the more less guarded enclosures, one of the ones with like the white picket fence that seems to have like tall stalks of corn, corn-ish, corny, plants in it, and you see them bend slightly as if something's moving through it towards you.
Stops calling for kitty kitty. She turns around. She does not see Baker, who was doing sign language before. So looks at Shazara and then is just like making the sign language of the cat is right there, hoping that she knows how to do it. But yeah, that's, and then she's kind of standing at the ready with her two little swords.
All right. So, Shazara, how do you interpret this?
So she made hand signals as if, like, the cat. Well, Shizara is a reasonably intelligent person, so she'll probably have figured it out.
Mhm.
And yeah, she'll like step backwards, if you know what I mean, just behind the person with the swords, and just get ready for whatever happens to come out.
All right. So as slowly peeking out of the stalks of this corn-like plant, you see a bright purple gold lion face framed with leaves and petals, and it's looking right at you very calmly, a little perturbed that to see that you're looking right at it. And it crouches, and then Biscuits and Baker, what are you doing?
Excellent question. So I'm just, I think for right now, I'm just pulling up my short bow and just sort of leveling it and just waiting for it to come out before I will attempt to aim at the thing. I think we need its tail, right?
You would need its tail, yes.
So I'm waiting for it to come out and do something. I'm just watching to see what it does.
All right. And as you're all watching it, Biscuits, you hear more rustling from behind you. And from there, we're going to roll initiative. So.
Clever kitties.
Did say dandelions. So, let me see. If you're gonna roll a one somewhere, I mean, initiative is not the worst place.
Oops, that wasn't right. I put 2 pluses in. Yeah, that did.
It's all right. We know that's a 21.
And
All
Biscuits
right.
is just so taken aback by how beautiful they are. She's like, oh, look at the kitty cat. You know, she's just having that moment of like girlish Lisa Frank glee.
Mm-hmm.
Just staring, but she has those swords ready.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus.
Did we get Baker's initiative?
Yeah, you got an 18.
You got an 18. Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Everyone rolled really high on this, except for poor Biscuits. All right. Okay. So, top of the round will be Shisara.
Okay, so there's one basically in front of us and
Yes.
one rustling behind us.
Yes.
Okay. Shizara is actually quite impressed with these creatures that are obviously also predators, and so is rather wary of them, in all fairness.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going to try and cast. Hang on, I'll just make sure that it's animal friendship.
Animal friendship.
This is providing the
before
actual
you-
animals, but
Before you do that, give me Arcana or Nature check, whichever you prefer.
okay. And then we'll both Arcana.
Okay. With that, despite them looking like an animal in the face, and as the spell pools in your hand, you recognize that these are actually plants. Despite how they look, they are plants. And so I don't believe animal friendship will work on them. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Just make sure I'm not
Back
getting
out
bad.
it. No.
Yeah, it has to be a beast. So you do
Yeah.
recognize before you cast the spell that this isn't gonna work on the dandelion. So you're free to do something else.
She goes, oh, curious. And in which case, she's just going to reach out and create a bonfire underneath the lion that's in front of us.
Set fire to the whole garden. I love it.
It's only a 5-foot cube.
That's fine. I love it.
He gets to do a dex 14 save.
A dex save DC 14. Got it. Oh no, its save is higher. 15.
I think it's a total save.
You said what was the DC? You said
14.
Okay, yeah. Then it makes the save. And that's a cantrip, right? Usually with a cantrip, it doesn't do half damage.
Yeah. True.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. But it does ignite all flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah. So, that means that, yeah. So the plot around the create bonfire, those tall corn stalks, they do, start on fire. They're smoldering and smoking at this point. It's a well, tended to garden. It's it's wet-ish, but no, they're on fire. It will probably spread soon. Luckily, every plot is surrounded by a cobblestone road, so you might
Well,
only
that's
destroy...
what I was thinking,
Yeah, so you might only destroy one part. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
Yes. Move 30 foot down the path. If you know what I mean. Because I got one in front, one behind. So if I move like right or left, which 30 foot
Did
in
you
those
wanna?
directions.
Would you like to head towards Baker, or did you want to move opposite? Baker's a little away.
Opposite side. Yeah, the
Opposite side. Okay. Fantastic. All right, that's gonna put us to Lion 1, which is the lion that you see poking its head out of the now flames. It is going to immediately leap forth from the flames and head for the first, the closest target, which is going to be, since you moved away, that's actually going to be Biscuits. And it is going to do, let me pull that back up. It is going to do a claw attack on Biscuits. So let me do that. So Biscuits is a 22 hit. Yeah, okay. I figured.
Yeah.
So that is 6 damage, and it's gonna attack with its other claw. Does a 9 hit?
No.
Okay, so the claws find a chink in your armor and give you a good cut, but the next time it swipes, it's not finding any purchase. And with that, it's free of the fire, so it should be fine. And that brings us to Lion 2, which is behind. It comes out from a patch of vines and thick bushes behind you. It is very similar, except where this dandelion has a puff of the first one has a puff of orange mane. This one has a puff of purple mane. That's how we will tell them apart. There is purple and orange. And the purple one, shy of the fire, but seeing its fellow already engaged, is also going to head for you, Biscuits. I apologize. So that's going to be 11 to hit. All right, first another swipe. Can't get through the various scabbards and straps and armor on your back. And a 22 on the second one. That one hits. Okay.
Oof,
Uh,
vicious.
that one's gonna do. That's what it was. 8 damage on that one. It's piercing damage.
Mhm.
And with that, the lions are done, and we're to Baker.
Baker is muted. Yeah, so just
No, quiet, you're a rogue. It was the nat 20.
exactly, that's the whole point. It affects reality that way. I'm going to yeah. So we have a purple one and an orange one.
Yes, the orange one came out of the fire, so the fire is to its back, and then the purple one came up behind Biscuits.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and fire on the. Actually, can I get to where the can I get behind the purple one? And
Sure. We'll say you're close enough. You want to get like directly behind?
yeah, I kind of well, one thing I'm interested in is just coming up behind, and I'd like to go for just with my rapier, slicing off its tail.
Okay. All
I was going to
right.
need that. And so I don't know if that's going to be different from what we would normally do.
I will say, since you're trying to hit a specific body part, that you will need to roll at disadvantage.
Okay. Does that cancel out? Now, is there a possible advantage that, though, from having been concealed that might cancel that out?
Sure, we'll say it's a straight roll. Because if you're getting behind it, you're also flanking with Biscuits.
Yeah. Cool, cool. All right. In that case, excellent. And probably sneak attack's not going to matter here because I'm just going for a thing, not necessarily for specific damage, I'm assuming.
I would say add it. There will be a specific threshold to actually like cleave through a tail.
Okay. Let me go ahead and let me make the roll and see what happens. We'll see if I even hit the thing. Let's see. I guess I'm just clicking on there. It's been a little while since I've looked at the sheet. I guess I'm clicking on the rapier and seeing what happens. No, that's not it. The attack. There we go. That's what I'm clicking on. All right.
All right, so would it be the first one?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that does hit, so go ahead and roll damage.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll roll that, and then sneak attack, which apparently is not clicking on that, so I will click on a different thing. It's 3d6. I'm just going to roll 3d6, and I'll figure it out in a minute. 3d6. So it's total of 17 damage.
All right. And you're using dagger?
I'm using a rapier.
Rapier. Okay. I'm gonna say even though it's piercing, that's enough. So you managed to hack off this the end of the tail. It kind of flops like dying throes of a snake. on the ground, and I will do the thing. I need a. No, wait, hold on. I have to roll to see if it happens. Nope. It just flops there and you're fine.
Excellent.
Did you get another attack or?
I think that note to self: learn about rogues before playing one, because I did not. I'm not sure. I think I get I get a bonus action which I can use in a number of ways. But
disengage, dodge,
yeah.
hide.
Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do with that. So I've actually got a. I don't think I'm gonna. Can I just pick up the tail?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Can I do that? Yeah, I'll do that if I may.
Fantastic. Okay, you have one dandelion tail and one very upset dandelion in front of you.
Yeah.
With that, we are on Biscuit's turn.
Whew, okay. So both of them have attacked me at this point. It's mainly instinct that has her going for the one that's already been set on fire and detailed.
They were different
yes.
ones.
Which one got detailed? The purple or
the purple one, which is the one that came behind you.
Okay, so they both have damage on it right now. So she's gonna go for the one that's in front of her. She
Okay.
can see that one better. After being batted around like a cat toy, literally. She's gonna take her first sword and make a swing.
Okay.
Plus 5. There's a 12 hit.
That just misses.
Okay. And then she's just going to swing the second one. Another attack. It's 18 hit.
That does hit.
All right, so swings the first one, swings the other one, and that will be her actions. And let me get damage for that second one.
Sure thing.
It'll be 8 points of slashing.
Okay, sounds good. That bring anything else you would like to do?
She's just fighting on instinct now, and you can tell she's been doing this for a minute. The first swing misses, and she's like, "Oh, honey butter, how dare you!" And then she swings with the other one and said, "That's my good girl gravy," because those are names of her swords, honey butter and gravy.
That's beautiful. All right, that brings us to the top of the round. We're at Shisara.
Right, so we've got a tailless kitty. And
the tailless is the one behind Biscuits, and the one that is the orange maned one is in front of Biscuits. The tailless one is the purple one.
Okay. She's going to cast Mage Armor on herself after seeing the swipes that those kitties give to the fighter. And then she's going to move. She's going to move another 15 foot closer.
Okay. Sounds good. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I don't think there is anything else I can do.
Okay. All right. So we're on Lion One's turn now. And on this, at the start of the turn, well, as we shift our focus to the lion, you'll see the tail on this one slowly unfurl into a large flower, and as it does, that damage that came from the swipes of gravy, was it gravy, start to fill back up. because since this is a very floral creature, where it takes damage, you see it lose foliage, and you see almost like a skeleton made out of branches and thick vine. But where it was hit with the sword, as this flower tail swivels open, that grows over very quickly. And it's going to go after the creature that attacked it, which would be Biscuits. So, no. Does a 13 hit Biscuits? Okay. It's going to try again. And 10 does not hit Biscuits. So in its distress, even though it's healed over, this is more of a fight than it was expecting from its next meal. And it scrabbles uselessly against your chainmail. So we go to lion number 2, who does not have a tail and thus cannot regenerate any of its lost health. But it whips around angrily to try and hit the human who has stolen its precious tail. And it's going to make 2 claw attacks against our baker. Does a 15 hit?
15 hits exactly.
All right. So it's going to do... I don't remember how to do these. It's like as soon as it's done, it's gone out of my brain and I have to look at it again. So 6 damage. Okay. And it's going to try to hit you one more time. And that is a 22.
Oh, no. In that case, that one doesn't hit. No.
So as it's attacking you, those claws, it is furious. It sinks in for another 8 damage. But as both of these claws sink into either side of you, vines shoot out and wrap around you. And suddenly like spike with thorns. So you're restrained, and it can make a thorns attack against you as well. I'm going to assume a 25 hits, and that's I need a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, dear. All right, here we go. Oh, that's not good at all.
Okay. So you take you'll take 3 poison damage.
Yay!
Of those thorns. All right, and that's its turn. So we're on you now.
Oh, excellent. So now having experienced his worst nightmare, Baker is just like is trying to struggle to get out from these thorns. So I'm going to try to wriggle out of it.
Okay. Give me a dex. No, athletics or acrobatics, whichever you prefer is fine.
Strangely enough, for this character, they're equal, but I will go. I'll go acrobatics.
Okay.
19.
19. Yeah, that'll be enough. You squirm free of the thorns.
And I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say that does take your action to do.
So for my bonus action, I would like to leap back into the bushes. I'm going to hide.
Okay. All right, give me your stealth check.
Excellent. 18.
All right, good to know. I will write that down. Okay. So then that brings us to Biscuits.
Okay, so the one in front of me just healed itself and it has a tail. The one behind me didn't heal itself, doesn't have a tail, but apparently can hornify people.
Yeah, you noticed that this is the first time the cat's ever managed to get both of its claws into someone. Okay. And it seems like that only happened because it got that kind of double grip onto Baker.
Okay, so she's gonna bring honey butter around again. And she's gonna move. She's not gonna disengage, but she's gonna kind of move towards the side of the one that just tried to attack her again.
Okay.
The one in front of her.
Mhm.
And she is aiming for that tail. Like she is trying to get this. So she brings honey butter around for one swing.
This will be
disadvantage.
Because you're aiming for something specific.
Doesn't really matter.
Remember, you do have those that nat 20 and that nat 1. That
Yeah. You still want me to roll it again, even though that one just failed?
You don't have to, no.
Okay. So that honey butter does not hit, so then she turns around and swings with gravy.
Can I say how much I appreciate that you're biscuits and gravy and biscuits and honey butter? That I appreciate that so much.
Nope, I did that wrong. Shh. I saw that. It's a different system. Okay, that was a 14, but I need to roll again because I'm at disadvantage. So let me. I have a 14 and a 16, so it'd be 14.
You hit? Yep.
Yeah. So gravy seems to be her lucky sword, and she swings around and she's hacking with all her, just barely 3-foot might.
You're feeling more the savory today than the sweet.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. +2. It's just 8.
All right. That gets really close. You see the tail kind of hanging on just by like a few slivers of stalk and vine.
Okay. And that will be her turn. As she just kind of, every time she looks around, it looks like someone's either gone or has backed away. And so she's just trying to figure out why they keep leaving her to fight. The lions. Every time she's like, "We've got them on the ropes." What? Just being tossed around, batted like this. And she's like, "We can talk about this. We can talk about this." But she's at the ready.
Okay, that brings us up to Shisara.
Right, so would you say I was in 30 feet of within one now? After moving forward that a little bit last time.
If you're within 30 feet of one, you can be within 30 feet of the other. They're pretty close.
Okay. How close exactly?
I'd say you're within 30 feet of both of them. They're both in like.
How close are they to each other?
Oh, within about 10 feet.
No, okay, never mind. What she's going to do is she's going to reach out and electricity crackles along her fingertips. And she stretches out and casts Shocking Grasp, but with the meta magic distance. So you can turn a touch spell into a 30-foot spell.
Fantastic.
And she's going to hit the line without the tail. I mean, with the tail still, the one that's still got its tail. Yeah.
It has a little bit of tail connection going on there.
Yeah.
A continuous connection.
Right. It might actually help if I actually typed in.
Oh, that's
yes.
Fantastic. Go ahead and double. You can choose if you want to roll twice or double the dice. It's up to you. You can either roll twice or roll once and double it. I'll let you choose.
Oh, it's 2d8, so I'll just roll 4d8 because it's easier.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, 20.
Fantastic. So that hits the lion. It hits the lion hard, and as this electricity crackles and arcs across this, garden-based creature, this plant cat, some of the lightning does hit those last tenuous connections that the tail has to the rest of the body and severs it off. And as well, like leaves and petals that make up the majority of this cat's body blacken and curl away, and you see a lot more of the like the organic structure of the lion, the very like skeletal wrapped wood and twigs. It's not looking like it's doing very well. You hit this one very hard. uh, it is still up. Is there anything else you'd like to do? Oh, we can't hear you again. I don't know what happened. Can anyone else hear it? No?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
I have no idea what's going on with Zoom. It's just keep changing which microphone it's using for some strange reason. I didn't even touch anything.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. So is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, that's it. She was just going to stay where she is.
Okay, fantastic. That brings us to Lion One. Lion One, the one you just hit with the shocking grass, the one that just lost its tail. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, you just plopped the tail right off there. The tail is now flopping around, and the flower part bursts open and a shower of seeds goes in every direction. I'm gonna need a dexterity saving throw from Biscuits and from Shisara. The dandelion is also gonna have to take one.
Dexterity saving throw, you said.
Yes. Okay. So the shower of seeds, both the dandelion and Biscuits manages to avoid it. Shisari, you're not expecting this tail. That actually, no, you're not close enough. You're still like 30 feet away, right? 15 feet.
What? Yeah, 15. At least 15 feet.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're fine. You're actually safe. I'm sorry, it was within 10 feet of the dandelion, so nobody gets hit with this shower of seeds that bursts out of the tail as soon as it hits the ground. The tail is still there. The seeds do burrow into the ground. That leads us, so now we're on Lion One's turn. Lion One, who's looking very haggard, very now very frightened, turns tail to try and flee, which if you choose to take it, Biscuits, you can get an attack of opportunity on it.
No, she's just gonna be like, yes, go. All right. Whew, we got both tails. You know, she's just she's not giving chase on that. Yes.
All right. So that lion is going to flee. It is going to run past the bonfire. So let me see. Like it's just blindly running. So I'm gonna say, go ahead and. Oh, I need to do the dex save. That's what I need to do. 16.
He saved.
Okay. All right. So it just flees too fast through the fire that is consuming this one garden plot. The rest seems safe, but you have slightly destroyed one plot of garden, and it disappears. Well, it's still running, so if you wanted to catch up, you could. That brings us to Lion 2. Lion 2 is not looking as bad, the purple one, but it is hurt. It has lost its tail. It sees its quarry has disappeared. Its compatriot is fleeing. It is going to try to flee as well. So, Biscuits, you moved away from it, and but it would probably rush past you if you wanted an attack of opportunity. And Baker, I think you're still close enough to get an attack of opportunity on it if you wanted.
I mean, if I can tell it's running away, I don't think I'm gonna try to stab at it. I'm just gonna let it go.
Okay.
I was gonna say, can I use my nat 1?
Sure. All right. So you're using your nat 1 to try and take a hit at it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With this natural 1, I'm gonna say you take a swipe at it, mistaking that the cat is coming from behind you, trying to get at you specifically. You take a swipe at it with Honey Butter, who seems to be doing poorly for you at this time, and you kind of trip a little bit and get a little too close to that bonfire. So give me a dex save.
Of course.
Yay! Oh no, no.
All right. Since this is just how much is the bonfire? 2d8?
What?
I think it is actually now that I'm at level 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
So go ahead and roll that damage.
Sorry, Biscuits.
We'll see, since you just tripped near the edge, why don't you just roll half damage so that
Do you want me to roll it again?
Yay!
yeah. So you just got a little singed by the fire. Because it's starting to peter out now. There's not a whole lot to burn left in this plot. But the dandelions are fleeing and you have their tails.
Yeah. This. Yeah. For a moment, because she tripped and fell, Biscuits just kind of turns back over and just sitting down on the ground, with Honey Butter and gravy at her side, and she takes a deep breath and she's just like, "Okay, we got these 2 tails for the Bindi lady. Alright, what do we? Can we take a little bit of a break?"
As I step out of the bushes holding the other tail, I'm like, well, I reckon so, but could we maybe get out of the burn-in part of the garden first, rather than
But
take
the
a break
fire
while
might
sitting?
keep them at bay. Whatever, just all right. She's bleeding a little bit burnt. She looks like she's been literally a cat toy for the last couple minutes. So she just puts the thumbs up and will follow wherever you guys go. But she's feeling that.
Yeah. She sort of just walks off, just like straightening a couple of like out of place hairs and that. Like, she's just like, that wasn't so bad. Now for the fruit.
That's when Biscuits gives her that kind of a look where she's like, "Which, please?" It just keeps going.
I'd like to
Alright.
drink one of my healing potions.
Sure.
If I may.
Before you do that, it did sound like Biscuits wanted to take a short rest. If
Oh yeah,
you
that's right.
prefer to roll your
That'd probably be easier.
HP. Save it for maybe something else dire that could happen.
Oh, yeah, who knows?
Who knows? I don't know.
How do I do that on here? Hit dice. Do I hit dice? No.
So it would be for a short rest, you just roll hit dice. Right? You can spend 1 or more hit dice up to your maximum number of hit dice, which is equal to 5 for your level. So it just depends on what class you are, what your hit dice is. Rogue is...
D8 or D10? I will find out. I will find out.
I have it right here,
Oh,
1d8. So you
1d8,
can roll up to 5d8.
Oh, okay.
Plus your constitution modifier, I believe, for
Okay.
each roll.
I will use 2 of my hit dice.
Oh, it's 10. So I do 2d10. Okay. 2d10 plus. It's plus your constitution modifier, right?
For each, it's not super clear. So it says, no, for each hit die spent in this way, you roll the die and you add the con mod. So for every dice you roll, you get the con mod.
Oh, cool.
So just multiply it by the number of dice you're rolling. But you'll spend about an hour in this slightly smoldering part of the garden, and with the one part of it, it burned away. There's a few shorter plots, and you can see again in the distance the oddly shifting black and white large tree that you're trying to head towards.
Can Shisara make a note of like which direction the tree's in? Because she always knows which way is north. So like
Okay.
if she can orient the tree to north, then at least we'll have a rough idea of which direction we're going in, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. It would be a little northeastern, kind of basically northeast. And so this is like Keen Mind?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So from here on out, Shisara should be able to keep the group from getting lost. How is everybody feeling ready to move on? Was there anything you wanted to do in your short rest? Besides just...
Shisara didn't eat one, so she's just gonna kind of wander around the area, just taking note of all the strange and weird things that are about.
Okay.
Not touching anything.
Nothing here is really caged, so it's pretty safe. You assume. There's the bushes and vines that Baker ducked into that came out of no worse for wear. There's some pretty trellises with some shifting color vines. It's not a lot of colors. It's like green, darker green, greenish blue. But it is a little relaxing, almost mesmerizing to watch. The corn type plants are gone. They are ash at this point. But yeah, it's a nice contemplative stroll through a fairy garden of sorts.
Biscuits is not walking around. She's just kind of sitting there and looking up occasionally. Are there clouds?
Yeah, there's a few. It's a very nice, bright, sunny day.
So she at one point just kind of lays back and is looking at the clouds, and she's like, "That one looks like that chef in there. Do you see how it looks like there's a whisk?" And then we'll pass by. That one looks like a dog. It does look like a dog. You don't know who she's arguing with, but if someone just looks like they're not agreeing, she's got a definite opinion about what the clouds are.
You just glance up at the clouds, glance back down. Sort of shake my head and try to contemplate my life choices.
All right. You all ready to head on? Fantastic. All right. With Shisara fixing the tree in her mind in the right direction, with the dandelion tails in hand, you head to your next stop in the Fae's ridiculous kidnapping requests, which would be the swamp tree. It takes a little while to get there, but you are rested. You're feeling better. It's not, as best you can tell, time doesn't really go. Time doesn't really move correctly in the Feywild. You haven't been out here for too long, and you're probably not yet late for tea, so it should be fine. But you eventually come across a large, deep pool of water with a very large mangrove tree in the center. It is wrong colors, just wrong. The trunk is pink and twisted. The roots go every which way. They'll split and rejoin. Sorry, that was the dog. They split and rejoin and twist around each other. The tree itself is about 40 feet tall to the top, maybe 25 or 30 feet up to the actual branches. And the leaves themselves are very twisting mass of black and white that seems to shift in and out of itself. And all around the tree are just brief little flashes of orange and yellow that seem to wink in and out as you're staring up at it. The the water around the tree doesn't seem to be very deep. It's very it's pretty clear, but just sorry, bleh. Even though it's called a swamp tree, it doesn't seem like a very murky or brackish sort of situation. It's very clear. There's some lily pads. You see little tiny fish darting in and around, but it's very serene and peaceful here.
So there's water. There's
Yeah.
there before, and does the tree have fruit, or we can't see that yet?
It's hard to see. You do see it amid the shifting leaves. There's occasional points where it seems to part, and you do see fruit hanging there.
I'm gonna hold it. Can you give me just a second before we wade in there? So I am carrying a ridiculous number of ball bearings with me.
Okay.
So one thing I want to do is I'm going to take a couple of them. First of all, one of them I'm going to sort of toss one experimentally into the water between here and there.
Okay.
And see if anything happens.
Sure. You do this. You see the little plop as it goes in. The ripples go out. Behaves very much like water. You see little silver flashes as the tiny fish scatter. Give me a perception check.
All right. Caption. 19.
Right. It settles to the bottom. You see slow little silver, the tiny fish come over, they inspect it, and then slowly the water just goes back to how it was. Seems the disturbance was very sudden when it hit the water. You scared some little minnows, and then everything went back to normal.
Okay. So the next thing I'm going to, so I'm going to take it, the second one, I'm going to actually throw at the tree itself and see if there's any reaction.
All right. So you take your little ball bearing and you throw it at the tree. It's not a hard target to hit. It's a very large tree, lots of roots. And you hit the tree and it bounces off and plops in the water and does the same thing.
Okay. And I guess the only other thing to do is take a third one and just try to aim for somewhere in the branches just to see if there's, because it's slightly different.
Yeah. Okay, the tree is very high up.
Oh, okay.
So for that, I will say just roll a dexterity, just like a dex attack.
I will do my dex. Okay, so this is like, yeah, I don't think I'd get my bonus on it because this is just sort of improvised weapon, I guess.
Yeah.
So I will use my dex. Where is it? Come on, dex. Huh. All right, I'll just do it +3. Hang on. BTD. $1d20 +3, and that's 15.
Okay, I mean, it's a big target. That'll be enough to get it there. So you do hit the shifting mass of leaves. And so I'm going to say, give me a perception check.
All right.
It's one more. If anyone else is looking as he's doing this, he can do it at advantage.
Nope.
Sorry.
It's just gonna help him to give him advantage.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool,
Sorry,
cool.
you were muted.
Let's try that again. Well, actually, the advantage. Well, that is with it. So that would be a 10. So it's
Okay.
Oh, okay.
sorry.
You see the leaves as they get hit, they like shrink back in almost like fear, and then slowly cover up the hole. You do see before the hole where the ball bearings hit is covered up. You do see another one of those orange and yellow flashes of light, but that's about it. It doesn't seem to have attacked the ball bearing in any way, just been sort of frightened by it.
Biscuits watches all of this and she just says, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think it's going to do anything good. I don't like it. But we have to get a fruit. Could we maybe set it on fire?
I don't think that would be appropriate right now.
I sort of shrug. I sort of am like, oh, if we change our mind, I've got some alchemist fire. All right. Guess
So we're going up there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not too. Yeah, it doesn't look too problematic. Yeah, there's plenty of branches. We should be able to get up there. I'm now getting out a little pouch with climbing gear in it.
She's got one too.
That I'm sort of assembling. Yeah, sort of get ready to scale this thing.
Biscuits is smaller, like she's got her own climbing gear as well, and it's nice and petite. She's getting out her little stuff too, and then she's looking at Shazara like, are you going to fly, or are you going to climb with us, or?
Oh, I don't climb. But I can stand down here and catch you if you fall.
Okay. DM question: how high did you say is the tree? How many feet away is the tree branches?
Okay, so to get from the bottom of the tree, which is about 10 feet out into the water, it's about 25 feet up to get up to the branches. If you wanted to go to the very top of the tree, it'd be like 40. So it's really tall.
But would it be, and this is just tactical brain here, would it be within the average range of someone who is a spellcaster to hit the branches?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If the spellcaster is at the bottom, at the base of the roots, or that would be about 25 feet up, 30 feet up.
I can extend double the distance of all my spells anyway.
So Biscuit kind of looks at you, looks at the tree, looks at you, and is like, at least come with us to the base. At least come with us to the base of the tree, and you can stay there. And then if we need your help, you can like melt something, blow it up.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Right. And she just kind of looks over to Baker and is like, all right, we've got this. We've got honey butter, we've got gravy, then I've got jam and jelly on my hips. And she kind of points to her hand axes.
Is all your stuff named after food?
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Okay. They're named after heroic people in my family. Like she's just.
All right.
That's the best thing. I mean, your name is Baker.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's. I'm just
I would
like,
like to
none
see
of my business. I should be the last one to. I should be the last one to argue I was named after what my father does. All right.
So they're gonna go for it.
All right. So wading out into the water, it's not that deep. There's only really enough space for those little fish, maybe like one of those tiny little sucker fish. You might see a crawfish skitter by, but it's not that deep. For you, Biscus, it might come up to about your like upper thigh. Everyone else is kind of like a low shin situation.
Just having to wade through the water.
But you can get to the roots, no problem. You have your climbing gear. Forgive me for not knowing. Does that give you like an advantage on climbing, or?
I
will consult the tome. I have this bookmarked.
I'm consulting Google.
Climber's kit. When you can't climb more than 25 feet away from the point without undoing the anchor. You can use it to anchor yourself, it says.
Okay.
And you can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself.
Okay.
Can't climb more than 25 feet from that point either. So it's an anchoring thing.
Okay. So your climbing will be your athletics, and then you can just tell me where you put the anchor.
Now, I do have a grappling hook. I have a couple of grappling hooks.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that's going to help or not, but I was thinking about just doing where it's like sort of throw one of my ropes up and try to get a snag around a branch and use that to kind of help us up the side of the tree.
Sure thing. Sorry, I'm looking up grappling hooks now. Sure. Just I'm gonna say that's another Dex or athletics attack. I'll let you pick.
You said either Dex or athletics?
Yeah, whichever.
I'll go athletics if I may.
Okay. Strong rogue.
Yes. Thuggish rogue, basically.
Yeah, this is
23.
Yep. No, that reaches the branches and wraps around. Give me both of you give me a perception check. Shisara, you can as well. If you're looking up when this happens.
Yeah, I'm watching them as they go, just ready to cast Featherfall or something. I think it was 4.
Did you need a climbing from me first, or did that?
You haven't started climbing yet. There's the grappling hook going up on one of the branches. So this is a perception to see what happens when that happens.
There. So for me, that was a 22.
Okay. And then I just need Shisara.
Good.
Okay, so you all see the leaves do the same thing. They retract and then slowly shift back to where they were. You all see a sort of flash of light again when that happens, but only Biscuits. You see what's actually looks like a little dragonfly winged creature that when that's there, and then when the flash happens, it disappears.
Okay, so she saw something that looked like a creature.
Yeah, like a little, like something that had 2 pairs of iridescent wings, a little bigger than about the size of like a sparrow, and it was there. You saw like some green, the iridescent orange wings, the grappling hook wrapped around, and there was a flash of little light, the kind of slashes that you've been seeing around the tree, and it was gone.
Would a nature I'm trying to think of, because she'd be trying to figure out, is it more like a little insect or a bird, or she can't really see. I just see wings and color, and it's gone.
You got a pretty high perception check. So you saw that it was like a little. You kind of saw that it was a creature.
Okay.
To figure out what kind of creature it would be, I'd say nature.
Let me just see how this will be funny. Yeah, she's just kind of squinting.
You don't know, weird bird or something, weird bird or bug, really big bug. Who knows?
But it was pretty.
It was
So,
pretty. It was very pretty. But you're not sure what that pretty thing was. It definitely knows you're coming.
something lives up there, and it can see that we're coming. So, best behavior. We're going to someone else's house, and we can hope this time it's not a regenerating, tail flingy, grass lion eaty person thingy.
All right, so I should behave the way that I do when I go to other people's houses.
You are taking fruit.
Yeah.
And she kind of looks and squints at him for a moment. Yes, go with that.
All right. You're the boss.
But only the stripe. She said only the stripy fruit. She said that. Don't get anything that's got polka dots, triangles. It has to have stripes.
Right. Righto.
Okay, so give me athletics checks for the two climbing. 24 and 11. Okay, so you have a grappling hook. You have your climbing gear. So we're gonna say that between the two of you, that's good. That's enough to get you up the tree. Once you get up the tree and you make landing on one of the branches, the branches are very thick. They'll get smaller as you go up, but the branches are pretty thick. You can see further out on like the ends of the branches are different fruit. Now the fruit is about half the size of biscuits. It's big. You can see various ones, as Biscuit said. There's ones with polka dots, ones with like triangles, some with nothing at all.
I have a question that's kind of very important for my character.
Sure thing.
I know we're going after the striped ones.
Mhm.
Are the striped ones the ones that are most attractive or look the most valuable up here? Because if anything looks more valuable, unfortunately, my character will not be able to stop himself from thinking of a way to lift it.
Okay.
Or that is in my background.
First thing, I would like a perception check for the two in the tree, and Shisara on the ground, who can look up and maybe point them out to see if we can find the stripy ones by sight.
It's just perception, you said.
Oh, you really want to find something valuable up here.
Just looking for the striped ones, but I might get distracted. That's the only problem.
Oh, we have some really great rolls. Okay. So yeah, you can see all of you can see striped ones. They're in clusters of the other fruit. This is a very odd tree that just seems to grow these pear-shaped very large fruits that are about the size of half the size of your halfling. So it's a quarterling, I guess. Halfling child. But yes, and among them you can see near the ends of the branches there's striped ones. Baker as well, you can see that some of the ones that have like splotches on them seem to have almost like a gold flake sheen to some of the splotches. you can see a few of them scattered among the ones that are striped.
I am going to try to resist the urge when I get close, but we'll see.
Okay.
I may make like a wisdom saving throw or something. We'll just try to figure out if I try to take it or not.
Sounds good. All right. So the two of you are walking. I'm Shisara down at the bottom. What is your passive perception?
2 seconds. 14. No,
Okay.
yeah, 14. Yeah.
Okay. You kind of feel like something is hovering above your head. Like you just get this feeling that like something is just hanging out up here. It hasn't landed on you, but it's okay. So you look up. You see a little creature. It has 4 wings and a green body. It looks a bit like a dragonfly if a dragonfly was like a cartoon character. And took dragon a little too seriously, but not seriously enough to cause a lot of concern. And the creature looks down at you and tilts its head slightly as if it's trying to figure out who you are and what you're doing.
Shazara's probably going to try and reach out a hand to snatch it. It's a flying
Okay.
creature. It's a bug. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Give me. I guess this would be an unarmed strike to see if you can catch the creature. So that would be your. It would be like a strength attack.
Oof. Not good.
Actually,
I'll just use my natural 1 on this.
And you fail. All right. So you fail, and you take a swipe at the creature, and you just absolutely whiff it. You just can't even get a grip on it, and this creature. And part of the reason you can't touch it at all, is that as soon as you reach for it, it disappears in this flash of light with a slight brackish smell to it. Of gas, and I need you to make a DC 12 Dex save. Okay, and this bright flash of light and heat comes with it like a burning pain. Like you set your hand on a stove and didn't take it away fast enough. You take 5 fire damage.
Oof. Ouch.
And you see the creature reappear pretty far away from you, about 45 feet. Its flying pattern seems a bit more agitated. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Inside 100.
All right, you're not sure how bad this agitation is for you. It definitely hurt when the little thing bamfed away, and it does seem to be, for the moment at least, keeping an eye on you. But you don't know if it has any other intentions.
Okay.
I'm gonna quick. So for our 2 up in the tree, Shisara, would you have called out to them, or are you just monitoring the situation now?
How far up are they?
They're about to get to the branches, and if you're at the base, are you on the roots or are you sitting in the water?
Oh, I'll be on the roots.
Okay. They're about
in a wet dress.
20, 15 feet above you.
Okay, then she probably will, once she's bent her hand, just shout out and go, the little creatures spin.
Yeah, I think like meanwhile up in the tree, every time it looks like Baker is looking at something shiny too hard, you have like Biscuits going, "Hey, hey!" Poking her little hand. "Hey,
What?
stay
Oh,
focused.
I'm focused. I'm plenty focused. There's a lot to focus
Not-
on.
Not at the shinies. We need the stripe."
I mean, they wouldn't miss one, would they?
Did you not see the lions with all the colors and stuff? Do you really want to chance that it's some kind of egg or some kind of demonic butterfly?
That's a fair point.
You do hear Shisara call up from the base of the tree about the little creatures burning.
Did you see? Demon butterflies somewhere.
We're going to set more things on fire. And that's, I mean, we could.
The up here it's very humid and wet feeling. It is called a swamp tree. So up here it's very it feels more like a swamp than when you were down in the water itself. So it feels very wet up here. And now that you're up among the shifting leaves and trying to head out towards the fruit, I'm gonna need a charisma saving throw from the both of you.
Who knows?
Okay, 15.
Yep.
Okay. Whew. Oh, you for a moment it takes a little moment to adjust once you're up in the branches themselves. The shifting of the leaves is almost hypnotic in the way that it moves and patterns change as leaves shift around and apart from each other. But both of you manage to get used to it, shake it off, and be able to focus on where you're headed. So you're heading out towards the stripy fruits.
Yep.
Okay. So as you're heading, Biscuits, your passive perception is 15, right?
Yep.
And Baker, what's yours?
My passive perception should be right down here. 10.
10. All right, you're too busy looking at the ones with the splotches of like gold leaf and the and as well as the prize you need to get out of this strange place, which is the stripy one, to notice much going on. But Biscuits, you do notice occasional little green faces with two large orange eyes and the very thick antenna peeking out from behind these very large fruits that you're passing to get to the striped ones, darting between branches and occasionally letting off that very bright light.
So you said the branches are wider up there, right? Like they're basically walking on the branches up there.
They'll start at the base. They'll start about 10 feet wide. They do narrow to about 5 feet. And then when it gets to the point where there's like actually fruit on it, you're probably going to have to reach out and try and grab the fruit from the wider area.
Okay. Well, seeing as Biscuit is about, these things are just about as big as she is, or half the size of her.
Yeah.
She's gonna kind of look at Baker and say, "Can I trust you to go get the stripy fruit?"
I'm going to get the stripy fruit. It's fine.
Okay. So she's gonna try something that may backfire horribly.
Fantastic.
But she's gonna take out her flute.
Okay.
And she's just gonna try to play like the calmest, kind of most tranquil elevator music like song that she can.
Okay.
Using her performance.
Fantastic. Why don't you go ahead and roll that?
There's 11.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, the creatures are curious. You see a few more little faces pop up. Nobody seems really entranced by this per se, or pulled in, but they are paying attention to you.
So she's trying to keep their attention and hoping that, Baker does his thing.
Okay, so I'm going to cautiously, quietly try to, and I may have missed a bit of the description. I have to go up to the fruit and try to pluck it out. Is that the? What we're
Yeah,
talking
basically you'll have to reach out for it. You can get it. I mean, as big as they are, they need thick branches to hold them up. But the branches holding them up are still probably too slender to stand on and pull them off of at the same time. So you'll want to reach out for them to get them.
about? Okay, so seeing that, I also realized that it's probably going to be too risky to try to shake it to see if one of the other gold flake fruits falls loose, thus circumventing the contract we have not to pick any of them. But I probably would lose my balance if I tried to do that, I'm guessing. So I will not try to do that, even though that's all I can think about right now. So I reach forward. I'm going to just very carefully and cautiously, deftly get the fruit off. I'll actually try to. I do have sleight of hand, so if need be, I can try to conceal that from the eyes of the.
Okay, so
of
you're
the
trying to
leafy
get
fruits.
one of the gold flaked fruits?
No, no, I'm trying to get one of the striped
Oh.
fruits.
Oh, you're trying to conceal getting the striped fruit from like the dazzle flies.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
Because like I know not to pick the gold fruits because and I'm realizing there may be fey crap going on that's gonna kick in if I try to take it. So I was trying to think of indirect ways to take it, but it's like, no, that's not gonna work. See how thin the branches are. So sleight of hand is a terrible, terrible roll.
Oh no. So yeah, no, everyone knows you're taking this fruit. Everyone knows you're taking this fruit. You're pulling on it and you're like trying to be careful, but it's shaking the whole thing it's connected to. You must have picked one that was still pretty unripe and pretty solid, and it's like stuck on the. And it's big. I mean, it's big. You're trying to grab a baby, basically, at this point. And you're like shaking this branch, and you do knock a few of these dazzle flies free off of the fruits that they're hiding behind. And they're going to bamf out of there pretty quickly. So I'm gonna need we're gonna just do one deck save for this.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Ready.
Fantastic. So you're gonna take half damage on this as you
Good.
try to get out of the way.
Hang on. Rogue, I have uncanny dodge. Will that help?
I think so. I can't remember which
Let
one
me
is
see.
the rogue one that gets rid of this.
It says when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack's damage against you. I don't know if that applies here or not.
No, that the one where they can negate damage, I think, is later in the rogue
Okay, all right.
pool.
No reason.
But you'll say,
yeah, I can't remember what it's called though.
yeah, I can't either, because Uncanny Dodge is the one that we call out the most.
Yeah, that's the one that they carried over from previous editions that I can remember.
Okay, so you will take half of this. You only take 2 fire damage, but I'm gonna want another deck save and to make sure you stay on the tree. And Biscuits, you're welcome to help with this if you'd like.
Did we anchor ourselves like we were supposed to?
we can say yes.
Oh, good.
Also, Shazara is watching this. Like, if she's able to see it, she'll be watching.
Yeah, you should be able to see this.
Okay.
When the tree is disturbed, its leaves do retract from that area. So even if they were in heavy foliage, you'd still be able to see them. But you know what? I have one free nat 1. So I'm going to pass that off for you. You are anchored. but you slip and you're are you still holding on to that fruit?
Yes, I'm trying
All
to,
right.
in a death grip, I'm trying to pluck the striped fruit off. The
All right.
tree.
You will take it with you. And you fall. You are anchored, but as you fall and you pull this fruit free, it is going to slip from your hands. Shisara, if you would like, you can try to catch it with a I'm gonna say a dex save.
Can you only cast? No, it's only on creatures. I take it the fruit's not a creature.
No, not this one.
Yeah, I shall try and catch it.
Okay. Go. Actually, give me acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
I think both are poor. But acrobatics is dex, so we'll go with that.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. You are just eagle-eyed trying to watch everything that's going on. And even though you're laughing at this poor man's misfortune as he dangles upside down, attached by anchor point, you hear some lovely soft elevator music just adding to the ambiance.
Dangling upside down. Dun, 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 dun.
And then this baby-sized, toddler-sized fruit comes just falling out of the tree, and you, in all your dignified skill, just reaches out and catches it so perfectly there isn't even a bruise. So you have one stripy fruit.
How many did we need?
How many did we need?
I wrote it down and now I've lost my notes with all the math.
That's fine. It's about, she said about one or two, so.
Good one. Okay. So Biscuits has been like trying to keep playing this song and like kind of looking over her shoulder and watching all of this happen. It's like slow motion. But she just keeps playing because she doesn't want to let up the music. But you can just see in her eyes, you had one job. Like you can just. Then when he falls, she's kind of listening for the splash. She doesn't hear it. Then she slowly is like bringing the song to an end.
Okay.
She just kind of cools down. Did we get it?
Yes.
All right. She says, "Thank you, thank you." She kind of looks around, does a little bow. Thank
Some
you.
of the little creatures have come closer. They are watching you, but there doesn't seem to be any malice or
She's like, peace out. Have a good time. As she tries to make her way back down, she can start coming back down the tree.
Fantastic. While you're hanging there, Baker, there are a few now checking you out, like very curiously.
Hello. I'm just gonna try to swing to the tree now. Don't mean any harm or anything. Just gotta swing to the tree, real quick. Yes. No, that's my sleeve. Yes. No, that's good. Yes. No,
Yes, as you start swinging towards the tree, some of them start riding you.
Sort of do that thing that acrobats do, where I sort of come
Yes,
right myself getting up and try to swing back and forth to get to the tree.
Yes, you're an experienced second story rogue, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes. So despite this foible that has befallen you, you are able to swing and get to the tree.
Yay!
Unless you agitate them, there should be no further problem getting down from the tree and out of the swamp tree area.
As Biscuit's going, she's also talking to any of the ones that are curious. She's like, yeah, my day is going kind of strange, you know. I thought I was going to go to speed dating, and then we ended up here. This is a very lovely tree. But how do you deal with those, those flowery tiger-looking mother lovers? Like, they're very difficult. You know, she's just, how's the real estate? Like, all the way down, talking to the...
By the end of it, you have a small cloud at a safe distance, just like who seem to be enchanted by the sound of your voice. And Sarah is there waiting for you, holding a baby-sized striped fruit.
She's just like, can we leave now?
God, I hope so.
Hooray, bye! You know, she's just so tickled pink to have made these new friends.
They don't follow you too far away from the swamp tree. They do head back very quickly, but without the bamfing that causes the fire. So you have your dandelion tails, you have your baby-sized striped fruit. Your rogue did not try to steal any of the gold-flaked ones because he got chucked out of the tree. Would you like to head back? Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Biscuits kind of is going to make sure that Baker is okay. And then she's going to kind of walk up to him and give him a pouch that has 100 gold in it. And just pat him on the back. And say, good job. Good job. And just keep walking.
Hey, you don't have... All right, don't have to tell me twice.
All right. So with your keen mind, Shisara, you should be able to get everyone back to the entrance to the kitchen. No problems. You don't see any more sign of the dandelions. When you do get to the kitchen door, you see a very harried BB just leaning against it and looking incredibly nervous.
Is she still whisking?
No, she is not whisking. Oh, you're back. Hi. Did you get everything?
2 tails and a striped fruit. About that big.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so that's fantastic. I'm so happy that you're all back and everything's great.
You might have trouble harvesting more of those tails in the future, however, as there was rather a lot of... Well, never mind. You might need to replant some soon. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, did any of the tails and then she makes this sound like... Oh, it's fine. I mean, dandelions grow like weeds, so I'm sure we'll have more soon. Yeah, and then as she's talking, there's like a thump that kind of boosts her a bit off the kitchen door, and then she's so yeah. Can I ask you to do one more thing for me?
Biscuits kind of looks down for a moment, takes a deep breath and says, honey butter and gravy are at your service for one more thing, and then I have to go.
One more thing. One more. Okay. Yes, I understand.
Sarah looks at her and she goes, it's the dough, isn't it?
It's... I might have stopped whisking for a few minutes.
We shouldn't have to stop for that. I mean,
Is there a cake that's going to eat us?
I mean, if it was a cake, it would have been baked and everything would be fine.
So so what is it exactly that we're going to have to fight?
It's dough.
Dough.
It's still dough.
oh dear.
It's dough.
Yeah, and there's another thump that like boots her off the door. So, it's dough.
All right. Move out the way. The professionals are here. We shall handle this dough. And then she kind of looks at Baker and she's like, just, and she draws honey butter and gravy back off her back and gets into her street fighter stance. Hey, somebody go open the door.
All right. And a thought sparks in Baker's head in the back, and I don't know if I wasn't able to update it on the one sheet, but when I did this back in, funny thing, when I put this character together in D&D Beyond real quick before I transferred it over, I did go ahead and take proficiency in the cooking tools, and I have a mess kit, but if Baker thinks back to his father, also named Baker, and remembering sort of what he did when he was making bread and stuff like that, and just sort of thinks for a second, turns to the sorceress and says, "Have you got anything that makes noise?"
Oh.
Yes. How much noise?
Well, like cakes, breads, confections, stuff like that, if they're looming up right, loud noises sometimes make them collapse. Depends, I guess, on how big it is. I guess we'll have to see.
It makes. Last time I tried to make bread, well, I no longer have that house anymore, so I'm going to take your word for it. I was going to suggest setting it on fire to bake it instantly, but
That'll do it.
the dough falling thing actually sounds very scientifical and smart. So
I don't know. All I know is it's I used to carry a drum around, when I was a kid. Used to ruin off my father's stuff. All right, give it a shot. I'm gonna head over and quietly just sort of check the door. Does the door open outward or inward? In other words, toward
outward.
us or away from us? Away from us.
Sorry, to you. So outside, you would open it out if you were in the kitchen, but.
So it's going to open towards us when we.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get kind of on one side and do it so I can open it and be on one side of the door. Sort of use the door as a shield if need be.
Look,
and whatever is about to happen happens.
Please eat them.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think prestidigit. I cannot say that word. I don't think that makes loud noises. That's not the one that does the noises, is it?
That's
thaumaturgy, isn't it?
thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's just an idea.
Would any of you like to ready an attack or anything for when the doors open?
Ready a bread attack. I think I'm probably gonna. Well, hearing what
You're
they did
opening
about
the
fire.
door, so
Yeah, I'm opening. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So
yeah.
Can't do that. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm on mute. So Biscuits will be ready with her swords.
Okay.
Like she'll kind of stand in the way to draw its attention because at this time she thinks like the sorceress has this, that they've got this foolproof plan. So she's just in there with her swords and her Street Fighter stance, and she's ready to go.
Okay.
The door's open.
Would you like to ready an attack for when you see it? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll ready. Yeah.
Okay.
She stands ready with the
what would you like to ready?
hands out in front of her. She's gonna ready Acid Splash.
Okay. All right. So
she's just like, I don't understand why people eat things without meat anyway.
You swing the door open, Baker, and the kitchen is revealed.
Oh, God.
There is a large Technicolor pudding ooze dough there. And those two who readied their attacks are free to launch them.
Okay, that was a 20. And
Okay.
let's see.
That does hit.
No, I need a +5. That is not it.
Okay, is that's
That's one. She gets 2 attacks a turn, but I don't know if I do both of them or just do one of them.
with a ready to attack, it's just the one. For the
She's-
20 does hit.
That what 7 does not, I'm assuming.
That does not.
How big is this doe?
It's pretty. It's big. It is bigger. It's bigger than BB. It is it's a little bit taller than BB, but it's like a mound.
So basically, the doors are coming open. Baker's behind it. The sorceress, she's just cast a spell. I'm standing there in the way of this towering mound of dough, just going, ah! She doesn't know what's about to happen.
Yes.
Okay. That was that's it's a little bit overwhelming.
So the 20 on the Acid Splash did hit. So.
Oh, the Acid Splash is a Dex 14 save.
Oh, it's a dex save. I'm sorry. Oh, the 20 was from the other
From
thing.
earlier, yeah.
So that's dex. They don't have any dex because they're a giant mound. 12.
Okay. So we'll take 2d6. Ooh,
Ooh, nice.
10.
Hey. So there is a hiss from the acid splash hitting this pile of dough and bright rainbow colors, and you just see a divot get worn away out of it, bubbling and reacting poorly to this acid. And with that surprise round out of the way, it is time to roll initiative. Okay, so our okay, so Baker is 11.
Oh, I haven't used my nat 20 yet.
Well, there is still time. I haven't used mine either.
Uh-oh.
Our dough is an 18. Our sorcerer is a 17. Shisara. And then biscuits is a 4. Okay, that puts the dough going first. So it is going to reach out. You just see this extension of the dough that just reaches out to try and hit the first thing in front of it, which is biscuits, unfortunately.
Poor biscuits.
the life of a fighter, to be honest. It's a 9. It acid eats away and the pseudopod of dough falls short. It then retreats back into the kitchen. So biscuits, you will get an attack of opportunity.
And let me roll it.
Fantastic.
Okay, and they roll damage on that one. It's 8 points.
Okay, so this hits, and you find little resistance as you slice in, and you actually cleave off a part of the dough that then rolls and plops and then pools up into its own little dougling. You did it does still seem to hurt, the doe to have lost this little doeling, which is much smaller than the main doe monster. But yeah, now you have a little doeling as well, which will go on the doe monsters initiative, so it won't go just yet. That brings us, and since that was just your
Attack of opportunity.
right, so now we're on Shisara. The large doe monster retreated into the kitchen itself, and there is now a little doeling in front of Biscuits.
Okay, well, she's just, I mean, since the acid worked so well on the last one, she's just going to do the same thing again this time, really.
Okay. You could still probably see the doe monster in the kitchen, or you can definitely see the doeling.
I shall go for the doeling
Okay.
now.
All right. So same thing, the acid spray.
Yep.
Okay. I rolled a 12.
Nope. So it's the same again. Oh, that didn't work. Hang on.
Okay.
5.
You see about half of the little doeling get eaten away, just bubbling, roiling, very unhappy tiny doe in front of the Biscuits. Which is there anything else you'd like to do?
She'll move forward, I guess, closer to the kitchen door
Okay.
so she can see better because she'd moved quite far back when the door was open.
Right. Mage armor lasts 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still up. All right. Okay. That puts us on Baker's turn.
So part of me, the meta part of me, is wanting to grab a rolling pin and go to town on the doeling. But I'm going to resist that urge.
I mean, why not?
It's there. But there's a larger creature to deal with. Are we not all in the kitchen, or is there more than
So
one
far,
room?
nobody has stepped in the kitchen. You just swung the door open and started attacking it.
Okay.
So you're all like right outside the kitchen with BB a little way off, going, "Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh."
Okay. All right. That being the case. No, but before I need to do something before the bigger one does something again, I think. So, wonder if I can do a sneak attack with Alchemist Fire, he says, chortling to himself. Probably not. I'm gonna grab an Alchemist Fire, and I have like 3 of them, I believe, that I picked up, and I'm gonna hurl it toward the into the kitchen at the big doe monster.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What does Alchemist Fire do?
Terrible, terrible things. Let's see. Alchemist Fire. According to, if we turn in our hymnals to page.
Okay.
1.
So you make a ranged attack against the creature, which it's an improvised weapon. On a hit, the target takes 1d4 damage at the start of each of its turns.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead, and for ranged attack, it'd be Dex, I believe.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that.
All right. Is this like trained Dex or no?
It's an improvised weapon, so
Okay,
unless
so
you
it's
have proficiency in that,
Nah.
I think comes with Tavern Brawler.
Yeah.
It's a really fun feat.
Sadly, not. Yeah, I know, right? That would have been awesome. Okay, Dex. Can I just? Oh yeah, click on the thing. There we go. 17.
Okay, that hits. So you'll do 1d4 damage. It says at the start of each of its turns, but go ahead and do it now, and then for this will be for its first turn, and then after that, I'll.
It takes 1d4 damage. Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. And
And this was at the big one.
the big one, yeah.
Okay.
One whole point of damage.
1 whole point of damage, but it is on fire. And you do see bits of it start to like bake, basically, and crumble. It does. Even if it was a little bit of a glancing blow of alchemist fire, it seemed like it hurt it more than you expected with that glancing blow.
Bonus action, I'm going to duck behind a cupboard and attempt to hide.
Okay.
That I can.
Go ahead and roll
leap out
yourself.
Yeah. And 27.
Okay. That's a pretty good roll. Okay. So that puts us at Biscuits.
Biscuits is just disgusted at the whole situation because she made another baby doling and that was not her intent. And then BB is not being helpful. And so, like, all of the positive things that Biscuit was thinking, maybe I should ask her out afterwards, like, that's not happening anymore because she's not helpful. So she's just kind of staring and trying to strategize what to do. And she asks the wizard one more time, if you can you set it on fire?
Yes,
All right.
but it will set everything on fire.
What if we get it to come out? Then you set it on fire.
Okay.
He says, oh goodness. And she kind of runs for it, and all she can do is really attack with those short swords to try to get its attention.
Are you going for the big one or the
The
doling?
big one.
The big
She
one.
doesn't really care about the doling right now. It's
Okay.
still tiny. So roll 1d20 plus 5. And also, like, she's totally discombobulated because that does not hit, because Baker disappeared again.
Yeah, that does not hit.
Yeah.
That one does hit.
Gravy is just doing good today. So she just swings around and she's stabbing into the thing because she's doesn't want to slice off, but she knows it might happen. So she's just throwing her full might between these, like, kind of attack.
All right, so you're. I'll say you can stab with the short sword instead of slice.
And then she is going to use her. Do I have it? Yes. She's going to use her action surge.
Okay. But give me the damage for the attack.
Okay, let me get that one.
Yeah.
1d6 plus 2.
Okay.
So it's 3, and then she's gonna action surge attack one more time. Well, you can attack twice whenever you take the attack. No, that's not it. Additional action. Okay, here we go. Doesn't hit, but she swings with honey butter again. It misses, but she's just giving it all of her tiny might.
Okay. All right. That will bring us to the top of the round, which will be the doe and the doeling. The doeling will head for Shisara. I'm going to say we didn't do an attack of opportunity for the doeling, so it was close enough to for you not to leave its threatened area for you to get to the big doe, but now it's heading for Shisara, so you can take a attack of opportunity on the doeling if you'd like. Biscuits.
Okay.
That just hits.
Okay. Doesn't
Okay. So I'm gonna say you're stabbing again, so you're not trying to cleave it into smaller doelings. So this little doeling like quakes and shivers as it gets stabbed, but it slides off the end of the blade. Oh, worse for wear, but still intent on its mindless doe mission to get Shisara, and it's going to try to smack you with its little doe pseudopod. So that is 9 to hit.
No.
Okay. Yep. So it fails to hit Shisara. Sorry, I just saw worst speed dating ever.
Shisara's just like, no, food does not play with me.
And so then the big slime, unable to see Baker, goes again for biscuits. Winds up a big doughy fist and misses like clean off. You duck and dodge and weave your way out of this goopy mass. It is, however, now going to do a special attack where it is going to try to spray dough across those in front of it. So I'm going to need deck saves for, let's see, it's going to hit Biscuits and Shisara and Baker, because you're like behind a cabinet, I'm going to say you get advantage on it. To see if you can keep the cabinet between you and this flood of dough.
Awesome. Next save.
Yeah, dexterity save. Okay, you're fine. Was yours the 13?
Yes,
Okay.
that was biscuits.
Okay, so you get coated in this dough and it doesn't hurt, but you feel very heavy. So what this is basically going to be a slow. So you only move half your speed and you can only take either your action or your bonus action, not both. And Shisara, did you roll your deck save?
Right.
Okay, same thing for you. You get coated in this Technicolor dough, and it makes it very heavy and hard to move. So you'll get half your movement, and you can only do an action or a bonus action. And those coated with the dough can take an action to like brush it off. This did seem to reduce the size of the dough a little bit, so it isn't as big. But now those coated in it are slower.
It's the dough monster's turn right now, right?
Yes.
Do we do another D4 of alchemist fire damage to it or no?
We did it at when you hit it.
Right.
So it'll be at the next start of its turn.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Biscuits
that
just she can't even right now. She can't even. It's just one of those moments where she's like, I hope that was not. It's all stuck in her little afro puff. She's just
I'm so sorry.
not having a good day.
All right. We're gonna go to that's the dough's turn. So Shisara.
So I can only use an action or a bonus action, did you say?
Right. You can only do one or the other.
And this thing's still in the kitchen, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, she's gonna brush the dough off herself. That was the action, wasn't it?
Yeah, that would
So
be
yeah, she'll brush the dough off herself.
okay. All right. Then next is Baker, who is not affected by the dough, as he is hiding
Yay!
behind a cabinet.
So, are both of them bound right now by it, or are they? able to
It's
move?
just like it's like weighing them down, so they're not stuck so much as it's like getting in the way of their movement.
Okay. So I'm just trying to end the. Do we still have a doeling that we're worried about, or is that been dealt with?
There's a tiny little doeling, very small, harassing Shisara, who seems completely unaffected by
Okay.
its evil little wiggling.
All right. Well, then that being the case, now I think is the time to attempt to fill this thing with arrows, or at least one, and start from there. Nice pointy things. Hitting dough with pointy things strikes me as a good idea. I look for a spot where I think that it's more likely to have air behind it rather than more dough, so that I can help it toward collapsing.
Okay.
Using my knowledge of watching my father bake bread, and I will attempt to shoot it that way from the shadows, leaping out. Can't believe I was ever going to hear myself say this. I'm going to try to sneak attack the rainbow dough monster.
It did not know you were there, so that you can totally do a sneak attack.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and shoot at it. Okay, now that's an 11. I don't know if that hits.
It hits.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Yep. Doesn't have a high AC.
So that's 7 and another 7, 14 damage.
Okay, you find a very big bubble of air and it pops, and you see it kind of splatter the dough in like various directions. And this gets very it's almost doling size now.
Yes.
It's definitely shrunk down, which brings us to Biscuits.
Biscuits is just in all of her rainbow splattered glory. So I just gotta say, for a fighter, since in my action is 2 attacks still, that's not a bonus.
I'm gonna say yeah, you can do that.
Okay. She just kind of and then just runs at it, just stabbing with both swords.
Okay.
Well, she's ranting about how she could have been meeting the love of her life, and now she's got to deal with all of this BS. And 1, 20, 5. That's a 6. That misses because Honey Butter can't get anything. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use my nat 20.
Go for it.
So I'll roll damage for that. 2. That's 6 points of damage. If it's a critical, then that's doubled, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's 12 for that.
So you splatter this dough. Absolutely. You find the last air pocket in this dough that just makes it everywhere. Just an absolute mess. It's disturbing and disgusting, but the danger seems to have passed. There is the little tiny doeling harassing Shisara.
Is that within my reach?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
say you can split your attack. Go ahead and run at it. And you know what? I'll give you the nat 20 that I didn't use.
Okay. Just for overkill, she's just and then she sees the other one, and that just pisses her off that there's more of it. She runs towards the next puddle and just stabs down.
And it does the same, just dough everywhere.
She kind of points at BB and she says, "Do not bake Don't bake that ever again. Don't ever bake that again.
Phoebe's just nodding, like wide-eyed, very much like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Don't.
And and from there, a sort of quiet and peace descends upon this ridiculous Fey kitchen until you hear just like clapping, and you see these eclectically but regally dressed Fae step out. The one at the head, just in shimmering silver with. It reminds you of the kitchen, which is just an absolute disaster of patterns and somehow made to look regal, but at the same time you don't want to stare at it too long because it's just absolutely a mess. And there's other fae behind, some of them like the very traditional ones you would hear from stories, some of them that look like they've hopped out of a sci-fi novel, just an eclectic group of people. And they're clapping, and they're like, and the one at the head, the one who, when they speak, the voice is the disembodied voice that brought you here. Just says, marvelous, marvelous. I could not have asked for better entertainment for our tea. You've done so well.
I think Shazara just raises an eyebrow and steps forward, and it's just like, entertainment. That was the reason you brought us here.
Oh, well, what other reason would I have to bring such an odd group of people together?
We're odd. Send me home.
Very well. You've done your service, and I thank you. And they snap their fingers, and Shisara is gone. Shisara, you will land, as will the rest of you, as you're snapped away one by one with very little thanks from this very rude fae. You'll find yourselves, at the very least, you land clean, pristine, healthy, about 5 minutes before you were actually pulled away, thanks to the magic of the Feywild.
Oh, it's much better. Yes. And the little annoying one's gone.
However, still have your severed hand. Biscuit still has the bag of lip stickers. And Baker, you have 100 gold.
Hey, that's 100 gold more than I started, and it gets me toward paying off my debt. So that's all I need.
What about the dandelion tails?
If you look for them, they are gone. The dandelion tails and the baby-sized fruit have been taken from you. Seems the Fae might have actually needed them, but but being a Fae Lord, they weren't exactly going to say thank you.
And Biscuits goes back to getting ready for her speed dating, but then changes her mind and decides instead to go visit family. Like she was going to go speed dating, but she's like, I reached my life chance, and she's going to go visit family.
She's just like, knowing my look, I'd just be an ogre or something.
There's a sign.
Spend time with the ones you love in case a Fae whisks you away to do their bidding. But I hope you enjoyed this little trip into the Feywild. A very odd Feywild.
Yes.
Yes.
That was awesome.
That was
It was indeed.
I'm glad you had fun. But I believe that's the end of our time. So I'm not sure where our fearless leader.
He's right here.
Fantastic.
That was an awesome hysterical game, guys. Let's go around, do a round of introductions, get you guys out of here, and roll in the next crew. So we'll start with our wonderful DM, Belle. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Belle, or Belle, or Belle Bellwether. Depending on where you are, my name gets longer. But the easiest place to find me is on Twitter at BellBell. I'll link to my other stuff there very often. The only thing I do stream games on Twitch, twitch.tv/bellbellwether variety stream. And then I'm also part of another D&D game that streams every other Sunday on my friend's channel, twitch.tv/KomodoKiss. And we're actually streaming tomorrow night. We'll be on session 6, so it's pretty close to the beginning. I don't DM that. I play a bard who is a little rat, a 3-foot tall rat named Rubbish, and
awesome.
she's very sweet. And I just want to give a quick the creatures and a lot of the art I use, the backgrounds I drew myself, which is why they look like that. But the creatures and the art I use is actually from a 5e supplement called Fairy Fire by Astrologo Press, and it's super awesome, and I definitely recommend checking it out.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Let's jump right over to Honey and Dice. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Well, yes, I'm Honey and Dice. I can be found on Twitter or Discord or Twitch under Honey and Dice. I used to run an in-person RuneQuest. Right now I'm working on a modular D20 adventure, and I'm trying a project where I'm creating modules that can go cross systems. So adventures that can be easily adapted to different systems, so different DMs can use them. I also host in-person charity events, tabletop gaming events, and last winter we had one that we raised over $400 for a local charity in one day. So if it's charity and involves tabletop gaming, you can see me trying to get attached to a lot more things now. And that's about it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. And with that, we'll jump right over to Laura Bones. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Laura Bones. I'm Laura Bones 79 on Twitch, and I also do some game streams on YouTube, and Laura Bones on Discord as well. Me.
That works. Perfect. And we'll jump over to last but definitely not least, Other Doc. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Howdy, thank you so much. This was excellent. I loved this game, and I'm pleased I finally got to come on and play with you folks. Just here at on unMadeGaming. It was glorious. I am Other Doc on Twitch and Twitter, OTHERDOC. My name is Jim Ryan. I am a writer, streamer, and podcaster. And mostly I stream indie games with occasionally into some of the more popular ones. But tomorrow we're doing a Powered by the Apocalypse one-shot called Bad Streets that the developer that is going to come and run for us, which is sort of a 70s cop show type deal. It's going to be glorious. On Tuesdays for the next several weeks, I'm going to be over on Off the Table playing in their Urban Shadows campaign. And really excited to get back to that. We're into our second season there. On Thursday, this Thursday, we've got the finale of a short campaign of Dirty Secrets, which is a GM-less modern noir game where we're all sort of building a mystery by basically throwing noir tropes at a detective. It's been delightful, and it's been very dark also, which is it's all for the good. I also do a few podcasts. I'm the producer of the Cyphercast. I'm about to go off here and help them record over at Tabletop Garden, which is an actual play podcast. And you can find links to all the various other things that I do at jimyesthatjim.com.
Fantastic. That being said, guys, we are 1 cent away from our goal, and we have 3 hours left to achieve it. So let's get these guys out of here. Let's reset for our next cast, and we will be right back. So stick around, and we'll see you guys back in a few minutes. Bye-bye.